Listen, you just said this and my curiosity has just spiked up. Welcome back. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another session of the After You Say I Do series. And we have started off, we've been having an amazing time with the couples that have come forth so far. Today, we are here with Taby, and Taby is a familiar face because we saw her when we were speaking about self-esteem, and she did such a fantastic job. I felt it was mandatory that I invited her again, and now she's gonna shed some light on the in the After You Say I Do series. Tabifa is recently married, and she and her husband are still to celebrate their anniversary. So whoop whoop to them. Today, we are going straight into the questions. But before I do that, welcome back, Tabifa.
Hi, and thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Alrighty, and we are most definitely happy to have you back. So Tabifa, let's talk about After You Say I Do. I don't know if you've seen the previous videos, but the questions remain the same. Before you got married, now I know for me, I have my own perceptions, my expectations, my ideas in my head as to what I think marriage is like or what it will be like. Did you have any perceptions, expectations as to what marriage was gonna be like before you got married?
Yes, I think I can safely say I have three general areas that I have a perception about that I can share with you today. Maybe there's more, but those are the three main ones that popped up into my head when you asked me to join this series that I would love to share.
Listen, you just said this and my curiosity has just spiked up. What are those areas? Tell us, we want to know.
Okay. For me, in as much as I am viewed as an extrovert, which is true, I am also very intrapersonal, and I do enjoy a lot of me time. So one of my expectations was that when I get into the marriage, that I would have a lot of me time. I mean, after I take care of my husband's needs, and but I realized that if you're going into a marriage expecting a lot of me time, you need to start
Hold up. Don't
changing
answer the other question
changing that
yet.
mindset. Um, the next one, which I can expound on all of them after, of course. The next one was being able to just get up and go. Hey, Tavi, let's go there. Something is happening there. You just get up. Um, Honey, I'm leaving. I'm going there, and you get up and go. That was the second one for me. And the third one was the manner in which things are carried out, day-to-day routines. Of course, when you grew up in a household where you're taught to do stuff one way, but when you come now with your partner that's taught to do stuff maybe in a different way that you learned it, and then you have to now live together, and you're coming in thinking that, hey, I'm gonna bring this into the marriage because I learned it this way, and I will be the wife. Speaking from the wife perspective, of course, and it's you're not expecting that you would have to change just at least most of the things that you need to do to suit your partner. So these are the three main areas that I didn't think that would change drastically. But unfortunately, which is a good a good thing too, it did. I did have to adjust.
Tavi, you have me like all kind of curious as to how did it change? How did like your expectations were not unrealistic? They were realistic expectations. Uh, how did it change? Why did it have to change?
Okay, so the first one that I brought up was the me time. Um, Depending on your partner, I mean, we have some partners that are more clingy than others. So depending on your partner, and I want to speak both from the wife point of view and the husband point of view, because of course I am representing both my husband and I too. Um, you may have a partner that we look at the love languages, and we know that one of the love languages is spending quality time. So I have a partner, this is one of his love languages. And that means he always wants me around. He appreciates my presence. So with that, how do I get me time? So I had to choose between having a lot of me time or making my partner happy, which of course I do have to make my partner happy, especially like I said, this is one of his languages. He loves quality time, so that takes away from the me time. But I low key love when he tells me, babe, I need to sleep out because I get some alone time. Oh, and when he says to me, oh, I'll go with you, I'll be like, yes, some alone time. He knows that I love alone time, and when I do require it, I can safely say that not too often, of course, but I'm satisfied. You say, okay, I'll go with Joy so you can get some time to rest, so you can have your time. So it's a compromise, it's a give and take. So that's one. The
Just
second one you
just for the
mentioned,
clarification of the viewers, Joy or Jewel is her daughter, very beautiful, very active daughter. So this is who she refers to when she says her husband is good with Joy. All right, go ahead.
now talking about having joy in there, that's a different ball game, eh? Because there's after you say I do without the kids, and there is the after you say I do with the kids. So that I guess that's a different series altogether. So let's go. Point number two. Um, being able to well, I communicate very well with my husband, and if he has something to do, he lets me know. I have somewhere to go, I let him know. We don't basically try to prevent each other from doing stuff that we love. He loves football. Whenever he comes to say, hey, babe, I'm going to watch a football match, or I have to play, because he's also a footballer, I know I cannot tell him no, except if it's an extreme case where he has to stay. But even with having the different schedules, we share a vehicle. So I cannot just pick up and go anytime. And even if we were not sharing a vehicle, there may be times, especially with Joy, our daughter, that compromise has to take place. Where even if it means I decide I'm not going again, or it could be where sometimes maybe the same day that I may want to go and do something, he has plans for family, where we must attend a family event together. So we would have to do some discussion where we would decide, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And who is going to make the compromise? So it's no longer about you get that call, you just put on your clothes and you inform her, see, and you go on. It don't work that way in the marriage. And finally, point number three, um, my I am a very organized person, but I met somebody who is, let me tell you, I don't even know what level to put him on. He is way more organized than me. So I am more the spontaneous one, and he's the one who, for lack of a better term, kind of displays the traits of OCD. So you would want to see stuff in a certain way. Now, of course, I was raised doing stuff a certain way, and I lived alone for some time. So when I lived alone, I had my apartment. I wanted according to my taste. So now that you're coming into the home, and yes, you might say, I'm the wife, I'm going to design the house and something like that. He too wants to have a say. And sometimes I say, maybe I don't like the way you organize the sitting room, or you should put this there instead. And you have to adjust. It's back to the word compromise. Um, Let me give you a little example of my husband would not go to bed if there is one spoon in the sink. So whereas I'll say, me, I'm tired, that one spoon staying there, I will wash that when I wake up. He would not go to bed with that one spoon in the sink. And if he comes and maybe I'm sleeping and he sees that one spoon, it could be 2 o'clock, he will wash that one spoon and put it away. And that's him. I cannot change him. I will not change him. And he don't try to change me, but of course, I know how he likes it. So sometimes I have to say, wow, tired or not, I have to wash that one spoon because I don't want when he come for him to be unhappy about that one spoon in the sink. So that's basically how it's changed those three generalizations that I brought up. But I can't say these are not bad changes um, because, like I said, I'm more a spontaneous one. I get bored when I follow routines. He's the opposite. He basically follows routines. He must lay his clothes on the bed, his wallet, his whatever on the bed, and he would do that religiously. So what it does, it helps me as an individual. So wherever, you know, where I'm gonna be late or wasting time or procrastinating, you say, come on, baby, we need to move. So I think these two personalities, we complement each other. So I would not view it as a bad thing.
But yeah, like it's like when you're reading a very, very good book and you just want to turn the page and turn the page. This is me listening to you speaking right now. It is so interesting. And what I'm picking up a lot from having these discussions, it's the little things that you have to apply the big concepts to. And what I mean by that is communication has to be applied to little things like the dishes and expectations and all of these things. It's the little thing that comes into play. And sometimes I think people just overlook it, like the dishes will wash, but then when you come into the marriage and you're living with somebody, the little things that irk them or they're not happy about, that's compromise comes in there. And I like that you made lots of reference to compromise. You spoke about communication. You spoke about like pleasing your partner even when it's a self-sacrifice when you try it. There's a lot of very valid points that I'm pulling from that. However, there is a question I need to ask you, although I didn't ask it to my previous guest. I am putting you on that spot. I think I've been doing that with a couple of people. But you mentioned it earlier that, and you don't have to go in full detail with it, right? But you said there is a difference in after you say I do before you have a child and after children. Could you highlight any specific point there that comes to your mind in terms of one of the major differences in the after you say I do, when there is not a child present and when a child is present?
Okay, so without a child presence in the home, after you say I do, basically the decisions that you make surrounds you and your partner, which is easy to it's easier to compromise. But with a child being involved, it is more difficult because it really takes away. And I can say, for example, I mentioned earlier that my husband loves football. He would love to be on the playing field almost every day. After work, he would go on the playing field and take a sweat, like they call it, with his friends. He cannot do this as he pleases with a child because basically what would happen is all the load would stay on me. So if both of us go to work, we come from work, that's time for us to, settle down for the day, get dinner ready, spend some time with your child, which is very important. Debrief her, even at 1 year old, she goes to daycare, I debrief her. How was your day? What did you learn? Even if she cannot answer me, I practice doing those things. So it's a part of me, and she will be used to hearing us asking her. So what you find is the level of participation you would have for the things that you love, it decreases. And in as much as you would want to do it, you would want to grab at every opportunity given to you. Example for me, I'm always called out to sing, to speak, or to do something at a function. I have found myself lately turning down quite a bit of things because of our daughter, which I think right now we have understood that she takes precedence right now. And our family is what takes precedence. So I mean, as long as you understand those things in your marriage, you will have little to no arguments. But I wanted to say something earlier based on what you mentioned, the little things. Sometimes it's the little things like these that break up a marriage. And it's like when you hear those things, you're like, my goodness, that's petty thing. You're allowed to break up your marriage, but you have to be so focused and let go of certain ways about you that we want to hold on to and say, be adamant about and say, hey, that's how I was raised. I'm not changing. I'm not doing this. But if we understand what we want to achieve for our family and in the marriage, we will be willing and ready to compromise most of the time. And those I'm not saying all of the time. And it goes both ways.
Harifa, thank you. Wow, I feel like we have been in. I don't even have the words. That was so rich, so deep, and so real. I love the reality. I love the honesty, the transparency of this conversation. Sometimes it's the little things, and I've heard that before from a lot of different people. It's the little things. It's the cup. You're vexing your husband because of a cup. But then I think it goes a little bit deeper than the cup, but the principle, because there's an expectation. Now you know what I like, and you're not doing it. So it's so much, so much. And thank you. Thank you for sharing. Are there final words that you want to share before we end this video?
Well, I basically shared it, but I guess I can just summarize in shorter words that, especially for the newly weds, because I consider myself as a newlywed. Our anniversary is tomorrow. We'll be celebrating 2 years. So I'm new to this, and I am basically creating my own experience. So I want to encourage our newlyweds to create your own experience with your partner. Do not listen to what others have to say. Do not look out into another person's marriage and try to fit it into yours. You listen to your partner, you listen to each other, and you leave room for compromise. You communicate. Of course, when you feel like, hey, you cannot compromise, you also state it respectfully, and you, build a happy home together. It's a work in progress. And of course, you keep God at the center.
Amen. Thank you. There is nothing more that I could add. You said it all, and you said it perfectly. Thank you so much for coming, for joining us, for sharing this information with us, for being so open and transparent. I want to thank the viewers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and coming to listen to us. Share this link with somebody. I'm sure there is somebody who needs this information that will help their marriage. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you have this link, and share this link with them. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and do all the good stuff. We are ever so grateful. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.